Welcome back for another episode of the CYA Sideline Podcast here at the Field House in Chantilly, Virginia. I got Mark and Scott joining me to talk some football today. Probably some other things too, but let's start with a CFP recap. What were your thoughts on the game? We got a couple games, right? At least.
Yeah, we did.
My upset of the week wasn't great, but they competed. I can say that. JMU gave them a fight. It might not have been much of a fight. They lost, but they covered.
They covered.
So what are your thoughts a little bit, Scotty? To start with you. What are your thoughts on this CFP, the first round, going into the quarterfinals?
I mean, I love the CFP. I think it's great. I like the lower teams being in, Zach, but I'm a little disappointed in being in because I think the games, unless you went to JMU or Tulane, weren't that exciting. I haven't seen the TV ratings on it, but I'd be interested to see. I think they were kind of duds, and they put them in that spot.
They put them in tough spots because
NFL.
They competed with NFL games.
Yeah.
Mark.
Well, we talked about it before these games started. I totally agree. Remember, I told you that it would have been so much better if Texas and Notre Dame were playing in those games instead of Tulane and JMU. And I'm sure I'm right now. It is cool if you're a JMU guy, and we're JMU fans being local, that they're in it, but they're not really in it. And
I'm going to play devil's advocate to you in a sense. I would have much rather watched the JMU team play than Texas A&M and Miami. That's my opinion. I thought JMU put on a better show in the Oregon game than Texas and Miami playing in the 12 o'clock game that was the only game on television.
Well, you didn't like the quality of the game, but those two teams should be there.
I mean,
are you saying you think JMU would beat those teams?
I'm not saying that.
Yeah, I'm just asking. I mean, do you just like a high scoring game versus a low scoring?
I mean, we're talking Oregon's been classified, and I mentioned it. Oregon's got one of the best defenses in the country. And we talk about JMU not necessarily belonging there, but they put up 500 yards of offense on one of the best defenses in the country. Kind of think they showed they belong on that level. Yes, Texas A&M belonged in there because they were the 7th seed, but they weren't very good. They were the benefactor of a schedule. The same we could say about JMU or Tulane, the benefactor of their schedule. They got in. Right? Texas A&M was in because of their schedule. They didn't play when they played good teams. They got beat.
Yeah.
Well, if you're basing it on yards gained, didn't Texas A&M outgain Miami in that game?
They did.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not all about yards gained. And also, again, I'm curious. Oregon, that was a complete smoke show in the first half. About it that I have ever seen.
Without a doubt.
I think it looked like Westfield High School, a local high school here, playing against Oregon.
Yep.
I'm impressed how JMU came out of that locker room. I don't know if it's the coaching or the quality of the player.
I think it's a little low.
They came back and they kept their head in the game and they played well. But were they playing against the regular Oregon team in the second half? I don't know. If they gained all those yards,
fair enough.
Third stringers, or Oregon's already checked out of that game. They're looking forward to their next game. I don't know.
I'm with you there, but Carson Beck, I thought experience would help. They win the game probably because, yes, he had some experience there and playing at Texas A&M, but he looked awful. The Texas A&M quarterback looked awful.
Yeah.
It was just, for an opening weekend in my mind, outside of the Friday night game, they got it right with the Friday night game. That was the best game of the weekend.
Totally.
Other than that, I think you could get away with 8 teams being in. Am I wrong? You start extending to 12, we're start talking.
I just don't like the automatic bids. I think you've got.
It's going to get worse.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to make a change because it's like they made the change last year when you've got like Boise that's playing a home game or gets the bye, and they're not really
Arizona State.
Look, Tulane. As much as I love the stories of the little schools or smaller schools playing in the Sun Belt and having a chance to get in. But it's just such a letdown to me. And even the ACC teams, even though Miami won, you and I, we all on the show we had talked about, I didn't think they would, but who do they have to play?
Indiana.
Yeah. I mean,
no, Alabama's playing Indiana.
Oh yeah.
And Miami's got Ohio State.
Oh, that's right. So Ohio State.
They're probably going to lose. It's probably going to look like that Tulane game. The Ole Miss Tulane.
It won't be that bad.
Early on, we would have said, like midway through the season, that Miami has a chance to beat Ohio State if they were to play midway through the season. Could be. I mean, Miami, you never know.
I don't think it's close.
Well, spread's 9.5.
I think
Yeah,
it's
you-
easily 2 touchdown game.
Hmm.
Especially the way they looked.
Well, I don't think Ohio State looked great against their last game either against Indiana.
yeah.
I mean,
They
they
did,
13 points.
But we're
What
talking
did-
about
what did
Indiana
Miami
compared
put
to
up against-
Miami.
Yeah.
We're talking about Indiana, Miami. They're completely different teams right now. Indiana's the best team in the country. Ohio State's number 2. That was a dogfight type game. Miami and Texas A&M, I don't think it was the dogfight style game.
Yeah, I
It
can
wa-
see what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay, so now these next rounds, the
the
I
quarterfinals.
mean, who wins them? So you think Ohio State definitely wins,
I think Ohio State beats Miami.
and then you said number 1 in your mind is Indiana. Do they beat Alabama?
No,
So Alabama
I
goes,
think Alabama goes.
Georgia,
Georgia goes.
and what's
Texas Tech goes.
Texas Tech?
Those are my 4. That's my final 4, and I'm sticking by it. It's what I put on my bracket. and
Yeah, you did.
I'm going to reserve my picks until next week because I know we're going to have another show before the next round of games. But I can tell you that I was impressed with Ole Miss. I thought they played well. They came out, they did what they needed to do. And the reason nobody's talking about them is because they played Tulane.
Mhm.
Yep.
You know, they could have won 100-0, and people probably be, well, whatever. You know, it doesn't matter.
They did look.
I think they came out with a new coach, played well. That's the only game. It kind of makes me nervous. They played Georgia before. They know they hung with it. They're going to come in with confidence.
They're playing with a
Okay.
chip.
They're
But
playing
they're
with
going
a
to prove.
chip.
They're trying to prove they don't need Lane Kiffin.
Mm-hmm.
And Chambliss looks good. Lacey looks good, right? The running back. They just have a little bit of a swagger to them to say Lane Kiffin made a mistake, right? They're out to prove that it's them on the field that are doing something special. So I'm with you. They're dangerous, but like we said, Georgia, in my mind, Georgia's just legit. They
Well, I hope you're right. I guess my
as
point
long
is
as
that
Georgia doesn't play Alabama, that's their kryptonite.
that is their kryptonite. I do think that back to the smaller schools, and then we can move on. I don't want to run this topic into the ground, but it's really hard to say much about Oregon or Ole Miss because it's kind of hard to judge your performance on the teams that they play.
Mhm.
This is not a takeaway from JMU or Tulane. It's more just to like get a feel for how those teams are going to react. I need to think more about it. I tend to think that Oregon's after the letdown in the second half. I feel like Texas Tech. I feel like they dog walk, but I just got a feeling that Texas Tech is going to take care of Oregon. But I
To
could
go
be wrong.
along with your point, Mark, there are automatic bids next year, and there's even an automatic bid for Notre Dame. If they finish in the top 12, they're in. So I think next year will be a cluster, and until they figure something out, and whether it's expanding more, there's talks of just a big conference, one big conference that's broken into divisions like the NFL.
Yeah, they'll never do that. I mean,
Well, just
Yeah.
they got to goes along with our conversation about do these schools belong in the CFP? Well, there's talk that they might not, and then you're separating the 60 schools that are the Power Four and everybody else. So
Mhm.
then you have what is the minor leagues of the NFL? That's the big boys, and then everybody else is playing for different championships.
Yeah, but I think it's still so early in the NIL world that
Oh,
this
there's
thing,
just
the
too much
transfer
going on.
portal, there's going to, a lot of this is going to shake out. But
The NIL's got to be cleaned up. The CFP's got to be cleaned up. It's
you know, it would be really cool.
but I am
If-
looking forward to the next 4 games. I think they'll be good.
It'd be cool if Alabama does play Georgia in the national championship. That'd be cool.
I don't think that'll happen.
Not
But
because the
that would
Ducks
be
are going to
cool.
win it all, but
That would be cool.
well, at least your pick is still alive.
barely.
What were
mean,
you?
My picks
Did
are
you get
terrible.
4? Did you get? You got 3 of the 4 right in the
I
first. round.
had picked, of course, I said Oklahoma was going to win. I
Mhm.
lost that.
I can't believe you bet against Alabama.
I know I'm an Alabama sort of fan, but I had a feeling that the game prior, Ty Simpson didn't look right. I mean, the play calling was poor. I'm still not quite sold on Kalen DeBoer, although he earned it that second half. That was a terrific second half. Play calling was great. I mean, everything was working. But I also picked against Miami. They won.
Yeah, so you only went 2. If we went 4 for 4. to start.
Yeah, I was struggling.
No, I didn't. I took A&M.
Ah.
I thought A&M was going to beat Miami
Ah.
in that game. So you
Well,
went 4 for 5,
well.
4-3-2.
Look,
I'm just
you
hoping
gentlemen,
nobody
step
is
your
using
game up.
my information to
Yeah,
gamble with. 'cause
please
that
don't.
Would be, that'd be tragic. So when I say take the Ducks, take everybody else, not the Ducks.
Yeah, we'll come back. We'll dig in a little bit more
Yeah,
next
next
week.
week
We'll give
we'll-
our official picks if you even care about them.
Yeah.
But we'll do that next week.
Yep.
In our case, you want Mark's picks because you know who to pick.
Yeah. Fade them.
Pick against.
Uh-huh.
All right.
But the pretty safe one.
Yeah. So what do you like this week in the NFL lineup? What are your
I
thoughts?
mean, it's an interesting. Well, last night's game was crazy because obviously it was a big blowout. The Thursday and Monday game this week, finally we got some action and some decent football.
yeah.
But last night's game alone solidified like 4 playoff spots. So now the playoff pictures are starting to round out a little bit. It seemed like so many teams were available for it, and now they're down to 2 spots in each conference. So we're down to the wire. Injuries are starting to pile up, so it's getting a little interesting. I don't know if I have a game right now to talk about, but let's go with you, Scotty. Let's see. Do you have a particular game that you want to see this weekend?
I kind of feel like for me, this weekend is a weekend where all the fantasy championships are going on. So it's more about players for me because I am in a fantasy championship than it is games. I feel like there's a lot of dud games that really don't have a whole lot of meaning
because of last night,
Because
right?
of last
Everything
night.
just kind of disappeared, or they're locked up, and teams might start resting. Maybe not week 17, but for sure
Yeah.
next week teams are going to start resting.
I'll be interested to see the Packers coming out this week, if Love is going to play or not. I haven't heard. Is he supposed to play or they not say?
They haven't said yet. It's still
Yeah.
kind of early. Good news for my Super Bowl sleeper. If he doesn't play, it gives the Ravens a chance to compete in that game.
Well, they have a quarterback issue as well.
Yeah. Lamar might not play either.
Yeah,
So.
I'll tell you what I was telling Zach earlier, what I thought was kind of cool was with Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has got some swagger now. And I thought, we've been talking about Aaron Rodgers for the last 2 years because he was
Yeah.
such a cool guy. And then he started to get a little bit, it was kind of interesting with his behavior and with all the stuff he was doing. And he just seemed to be almost disconnected. But the last few weeks, I loved his interview after the game, talking at the Lions. And we've been watching clips of him just getting after the guys on the field. I don't know if you saw that, Scotty, when he
I
said
did.
to the one guy that you're being outrun by a 42-year-old. That's why you don't want me to help you up. It's stuff that Aaron Rodgers, it reminds me of when he said with the Bears, I own you. And those are all things that Aaron Rodgers was good at. And I kind of like it now and it's coming back. So
Mark
Steelers.
back on that Aaron Rodgers bandwagon.
Steelers, even though DK Metcalf, that was idiotic. But
Remember,
Yeah.
beginning of the year, he gave me so much crap. I said the Steelers could win the
Yeah.
division,
You were right.
and
I thought it was all going to be Ravens just because I didn't see any stopping the Ravens. Well, you got Lamar, you got
Yeah.
Derrick Henry, you've got
I-
Zay Flowers. They were just tearing it up. You got Mark Andrews. I don't know how those guys are not doing well they start off so strong. Remember, third play of the game, Derrick Henry runs in for a touch, and you're thinking, oh, this thing is over. These guys are going to run away with it. And then I fall asleep and I wake up and they're losing.
speaking of the Ravens, with all that, like you talked, it's not the first time they've had issues with this. Think it's time for a coaching change.
They're talking about it.
I mean, he's
Saw
had some
one in the
success
TV.
there.
They're talking to people.
I mean, Tomlin was in that conversation for a little bit.
Mhm.
Obviously, he's going to have another quote unquote winning season, but seems like you said, play calling hasn't been great. They're not utilizing Derrick Henry, who's one of the best running backs in the history of the NFL, and it just seems like they want to do all this weird stuff. So
Don't you think
Yeah.
that if you've got Derrick Henry on your team and you're not utilizing, something has to be in the background that we don't know about? Because it's so obvious to all of us. If you have Derrick Henry, just keep giving him the ball because he's one of those guys that he may get 1 or 2 yards, 1 or 2, then he breaks off for 30. And
give
you
him
know
20
it's coming.
touches, 25 touches, let him run people over.
Yeah.
People are going to start. We've had that conversation with Kenny a few times, like Kenny and Donnie talking football. You have guys stepping into the hole to run into Derrick Henry at 6'3", 250.
Yeah.
I mean, after a while, that beating sucks, and people don't want to step into the hole.
Yep.
Just give
They
them the
do
football.
not.
But
I
I
certainly wouldn't.
But I think they've caught up in trying to prove Lamar's a pocket passer.
Yeah, and I feel like part of it is they just kind of get caught in situations where running the ball doesn't make sense, and they need to kind of start the game with that mindset. I
Mhm.
haven't watched a whole lot of the Ravens, but I mean, I feel like in the parts that I do is just there are points in the game where running the ball might not make total sense, and they need to kind of start with that game plan in mind.
Mhm.
And maybe I'm wrong on this, and I'm wrong a lot, but I'm with you. Derrick Henry needs to be there.
It's got to be utilized
Got to
more.
be used.
Especially at the end of the game. When you've got the games on the line, he's got to be, I just think he's got to be the guy. So
Yeah. Well, There's a lot of bad games
Yeah.
this weekend. And you know what? I've got a trivia question for you guys.
All right. Here we go. Did Scotty make that up?
Well, I'm not making this one up. But, okay. According to DraftKings, fellas,
Oh, back to DK.
back to DK and Caesars and Bet365 or any of them that you want to look at.
Name drop sponsorship, guys.
Yeah.
Don't forget.
Exactly. Which NFL team is favored to have the least wins this year?
You know, it's a good question. You asked us about the most wins,
Now, last week,
And-
I'm flipping it to the least
and
wins.
I
With
hit
2
that
weeks
one
left, people. 2 weeks left. Who's favored to have the least wins?
without us looking at standings. So
Well,
you've
that's
gotta
the
kinda
funny
make
thing.
it-
I had this brought up because I was going to talk about the game. There's no records here, so I'll make it clear.
Okay.
There's no records
See
here.
that?
But the game this week determines it. It's
Which
the
is-
Giants or the Raiders. It's one of those.
Yeah.
Whoever loses that game,
It's got to be the Raiders.
it's going to be the Giants.
So you're saying Raiders, you're saying Giants.
I think it's that game. Yeah.
Ding, ding. Zach got it right. It's the Giants and the Raiders are the second most.
It's that game. It just so happened I had it up.
When I think about that set, I always think it'd be the Jets. Like, I don't know why, but they're one of the ones, but they're not up there with those guys. It might be the Giants. It looks like.
Yeah.
Well done.
Okay, what do the Giants do? What do they take first pick in the draft?
So there's conversations I've heard. Well, only because they put out stats. Jackson Dart's stats are drastically worse than they were under Dabble. So
Hmm.
so they're thinking they might let this coach come in if they get their coach, trade Jackson Dart and draft the quarterback. If there's somebody that they fall in love with, the Mendoza kid, the Moore kid.
Yeah. I feel like Moore's guys kind of crept into the number one spot more in the last week.
And so those guys, there's talk, and how much it is. I mean, there's a lot of talking heads like us out there. They say there's potential, and what I've seen is that New York trades out of that draft pick, and they let somebody else that needs a quarterback come on up, and then they add another weapon for Jackson Dart. Because you think about it, they got Scattaboo coming back, they've got Neighbors coming back, they've got some young studs on the defensive side. You had another wide receiver, or tight end in there, and you're looking like you're building something special. So
You can get a lot for that overall number one.
they're going to get a couple first rounders.
Yeah.
And so it'll be interesting to see. But I'm with you. I think the Giants they look bad.
They do look.
And I mean, they've had a lot of injuries and they've dealt with some other stuff, but the Raiders don't look good either. I think Geno Smith was a failed thing. I know.
Well, aside from the coach. I mean, bringing.
Pete Carroll is Pete Carroll, but
But
you
Pete
gotta
Carroll
put-
brought Geno because of the success he had with him in.
they just
Seattle.
don't have a lot there.
Yeah.
They
They
got
need a quarterback. I mean, I'm biased here. I feel sorry. I think Brock Bowers is the best tight end in football because he's doing great things with that system, which is terrible.
Yeah.
I feel sorry that it's another year of like underutilizing such a talent in that
And I
position.
think they got the good young talent. You got
Mhm.
Bowers, you got Genty. You put a young quarterback that goes around with them. I mean, it might be Vegas trading with the Giants for that pick
Could be.
because if they can get one of those guys to build with them, you got Max Crosby on the defensive end. You might be trading him.
Well,
and
Vegas
go.
could be sitting there too, and they don't care which one of the guys they get. They're not going to trade up. They'll be like,
No.
well, I'll take either more or
Yeah,
Mendoza.
unless they fall in love with a guy,
Yeah, exactly.
right? And they want to
Yep.
make sure.
Yeah. I don't know which one's more polished right now and ready to play in the NFL, but I would probably say Mendoza. Moore's pretty young, right? Didn't he start college at 17 years old?
Yeah, I think he did.
So,
Mhm.
yeah. So,
He did.
yeah. So,
So-
I mean, he's probably got a tremendous upside there.
So you brought up the dud of the week for a game that I don't think anybody's going to watch. So in my mind, probably the game of the week is Sunday Night Football, Bears Niners.
Mhm.
I don't think there's much better than that this week. Let's talk a little bit about that game. Your thoughts here. The Niners looked great last night, Mark. The Bears came off. They were down 10 points late, and Caleb Williams looked pretty special to pull it off and get the win against the Packers. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, this game, I don't know if it's going to be the game of the week simply because they're both in the playoffs now. Now they're starting to think playoffs. So if it's not, I'm kind of disappointed that so many teams are in the playoffs because I like to see those guys that are battling for that spot.
Mhm.
So, but nevertheless, I think the 49ers are the better team personally. I like their weapons better. Caleb, I'm probably always a little biased toward it because I wasn't much of a fan. I thought he was making errors, although Ben Johnson's just turned that guy around this year. He's making the decisions he makes sitting back. He's not making the mistakes that he made the year prior without Ben Johnson. So he's good. But I think overall, just looking at the total package, the eye test, I think 49ers are a better team. I think they win that game.
Go ahead, Scotty.
Philip Rivers had a good game last night.
There's old
He
Phil.
did. I mean, the 44-year-old fella, he got out there. He's getting a little feisty. He's getting mad when people on his offensive line are false starting and stuff like that. He's kind of, it took him 1 week to get back to himself. But he had his whole family up there in the box. But if he can have that good of stats against San Francisco, Killer Williams can certainly do better than that. I'm taking the Bears to beat the 49ers. I think the 49ers had a really good game last night. Purdy did as well, but I think that's an anomaly. I think he's going to do well against the San Francisco defense. It might be slightly overrated in my mind.
And,
I think the Bears win that game.
I had come down hard on Philip Rivers. He texted me and said, "Okay, who's fat and old and sloppy now?" So no, he had a good game. And Philip Rivers making. We watched his. He was making some pretty good.
We talked about it. I think
Yeah.
they did a disservice to him not giving Jonathan Taylor the ball early.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, get that guy involved.
Then
Let
they
him-
got down, and then they had
then they can't give him the ball.
Yeah.
So it was tough. Interesting pick there, Scotty. I wouldn't have probably guessed that from you, especially with them going out west, Chicago going
Mhm.
west. San Francisco's 11-4 now, and they've been depleted with injuries throughout the year. And I think they're at a point where they're finally starting to get guys coming back together. They may not win this game, but they are one of the best teams in football right now. So I don't know if they rest guys because, like we said, everybody's cinched up. Caleb Williams is by far a better quarterback than 44-year-old Philip Rivers. Maybe not when he was in Caleb Williams.
25. Yeah.
But I just think the weapons for the Bears, Odunze is probably hurt. They're going to rest him with them being out. They've got a couple guys, Loveland, Swift. Those guys are kind of beat up. I'm going to have to go with the 49ers here at home. I think the Bears take a conservative route here and then maybe rest some of those weapons to make sure they're a good team and they're going to wreak some havoc in the playoffs. But I think they need to think ahead a little bit and not get caught up in this game and maybe, quote unquote, hide some of that talent because they could see the Niners later on when it's a little more important. So I think I'm going to take the 49ers at home in this game, -3.
I guess we'll see what happens. All right. Yeah.
You know, when I look at this, the confusing one to me is still the Bucks. You know, I'm just looking who's on the bubble, and they're on the bubble and they look so strong early on, and Baker looked like this was going to be his year. And I'm just surprised that they're a bubble team right now.
Talk about a team that dealt with a lot of injury.
Yeah, I mean, in their defense, you're
And they
right.
still got a chance because, I mean, they lost to the Panthers in Carolina this week, but last game of the year, they play at home against the Panthers.
Right now, it's a 57% probability that they get
They-
it.
That's a team I'd like to see get in because I think they, like you were just saying, the Bears have a chance to wreak some havoc. They're getting their receivers are back. You know, for the
Mike
most part.
Evans is
Buck
back.
Irvin's coming back now. They're getting back. They might get their swag back because the king of swag, Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
I
They
mean,
play the
he-
Dolphins this week, who are in complete shambles.
Yeah.
So it's going to come down. The Panthers got the Seahawks this week. I think it'll come down to those two teams playing. Winner goes to the play.
Be
Winner-
good to see the Panthers. We never talk about
I
the
really
Panthers.
think it's fun to see. We got on that young guy when before this show, we started this show. Cabalas, we were on him big time about not really being qualified or a dude there. And his year last year wasn't great. And everybody was on Bryce Young. He got benched and things like that. They look pretty special. I think they're doing something right there. They've got it's what we talked about. What the Raiders need to do.
Mhm.
They've got young receivers. They got young backs.
McMillan and company. Yeah.
I mean, they're starting to build it
Leggett.
the right way.
Yeah.
So I'm actually pulling that the Panthers make the playoffs. I don't think they can. I think
I'm good with either team.
I
Don't
think
get
the
me wrong.
Buccaneers can do a little more damage in the playoffs, but I'd really like to see those young guys, the young Panthers, get in, and I think they've earned it in it. As an Alabama fan, I want to see Bryce Young prove that he belongs on that stage. So
There you go. Hey, I'll be surprised if the Bucks don't put up at least 35 points this week against the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I will be too.
Yeah, I think they're going to roll them. But
I think that's why they're a
Yeah.
57% chance of getting it
because
Yeah.
because they got that game. I don't know who they played the last game, but
I'll
The
take the
Bucs.
Panthers at home against the Seahawks this week.
the Panthers at home against the Seahawks.
that could be a good game.
Seahawks going across. They haven't looked great the last couple games.
Well,
Is it tr-
except for the other night when they play against the Rams.
Well, that one,
The one before,
yeah, the
they
one
were-
before they didn't
were
look
good
great
against
against Phillip
Colts.
Rivers. They did have the good one Thursday night, but going across country, they've had a little more time. But don't be
It could be a
surprised.
bit of a letdown after the Rams too. I
Yep.
got you. Yeah, I
Don't
see
be
that.
surprised.
In fact, I wouldn't be surprised, and I'd go with you. I think that is that it wouldn't surprise me if the Panthers win.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
What else? We got anything else?
We're gonna. I figured we wrapped this up with a special episode of Did Scotty Make That Up? You said you had an extra one for us.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give us one more. Did Scotty make that up?
Okay, guys. All right. We'll go with this one. According to ChatGPT.
Oh, be careful with ChatGPT; it'll get you in trouble.
I know. I don't use it much, but I started using it just a little bit. Who is the most searched professional athlete, U.S. professional athlete in 2025?
The most
Searched online professional athlete in 2025.
Wow.
Well, good.
So you're
It's
okay.
just
Now,
a broad range.
yeah, give
Yeah.
So broad.
So
You want me? I'll start. I'll feed you a hint.
feed us a hint. We need it.
Because yeah,
Okay.
there's so many. There's just too many.
It's an
points.
NFL player.
Okay. Okay.
NFL player most searched.
I'll even give you another hint.
Okay.
It's a quarterback.
Is it Aaron Rodgers?
It's not Aaron Rodgers.
After I made all the comments,
All right.
go ahead, Zach.
I'm
When I tell you this, you're gonna be like, oh
Oh.
yeah.
I'm a bit stumped, but I'll give you a guess. Quarterback, play along. Matt Stafford.
No. I'm gonna give you one more hint.
Okay.
One more hint. He's a rookie.
Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart's not a rookie.
Yes, he is.
Oh yeah, he is a rookie.
He is.
yes.
The answer is Shador Sanders.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, that's your boy. Yeah, Jackson Dart's. My bad. But yeah, so that's it.
I'll tell you what, Shador Sanders, great. I mean, he handled himself so well in that news conference when they were asking about the other players and this, and he even said, I think he said, are you really asking me that? Like, I'm going to speak poorly of the other players and that? No, we're
They
a
need a
team
new
here.
coach in Cleveland.
You think?
I don't think Shador's look bad. I mean, he's a rookie. He's going to have his bumps. He's going to
Yeah.
take his lumps and all that. But Stefanski's, he hasn't done anything with anybody.
I think Sanders does look pretty good too. But the one interesting thing is he doesn't do a very good spiral. Do you notice that?
Neither did Favre, though.
Huh?
Favre never did
Yeah,
either.
yeah,
He-
Oh, yeah, it's like a
Favre
the
just
ball
threw bullets.
goes like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like
I
don't
just
know.
think the Stefanski's run his time in
Yeah.
Cleveland. He hasn't been able to win with no matter who you put at quarterback. They've done everything. They traded for Deshaun Watson. They've drafted 2 quarterbacks. They've done all these different things, and he can't win.
Yeah.
I think it's time to move on. You go
Yeah, but
find
look, I like Stefanski. Look at the quarterbacks he's had though. If you just go down the list of all the guys with Dylan Gabriel, okay, rookie, Shador, Flacco, who else is he had? I mean, he's had
They
several-
went and got him. He went and got his guy,
Who was
Deshaun Watson, and they
that
paid him
was
200.
Stefanski that got
He was there when they
when
went
he
and
got
got
hurt.
They paid
Yeah.
him $230 million after he was gotten all this off-field trouble. And he didn't even look good when he was
Yeah.
there before he got hurt.
Yeah.
He wasn't the quarterback that was playing in Houston.
No.
He wasn't even close. But that whole regime has not been good at figuring out quarterbacks, have not been able to figure out how to play winning football. Right? You've got a guy in Myles Garrett that's going to break the sacks record. You paid him a bunch of money. You should be able to win games.
And you're right. And they've got to look at their weapons. They do have a lot. Jerry Judy. They had Amari
kid with
Cooper.
a home run
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah.
I mean, you put
Surprised
Shador
they
and
don't
Hudkins,
draft anybody
Judy.
without the quarterback.
Yeah, they had Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I mean,
They've had a lot of. You're right. They've had a lot of weapons that they keep coming in, and maybe.
and
this
they
is
play in the
year.
weakest. This year, the division is so weak. They could have been able to compete, but
Yeah.
it was Stefanski's got an ego in my mind, and that's kind of why he didn't want to play Shador, and he's kind of been hesitant on it. And I just
Well, he's
think,
committed to him now. You gotta give him that. So it'll be interesting.
I think he's half committed to him, just
Consider it.
because of the image. Because
Yeah. That's what people want to see because he is the most searched athlete this year.
yep. So
Interesting.
All right. Awesome. Well,
All right, boys.
Good.
Well,
yeah,
we're
we'll wrap it up this week. Happy holidays to everybody that's watched. Thank you for following and watching. Check us out on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok at CY Sideline Podcast. Thanks. We'll see you next week.
see you.